Comcast Cablevision presents NJSIAA Playoff Football. Today, the Bulldogs of Glassboro High School visiting the Paulsboro Red Raiders in a Group 1 semifinal game. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Schrack along with Fred Schwartz on windy day here at Paulsboro High School. Fred, for the resumption of one of the most storied rivalries in the history of Gloucester County football.
Traditional with a capital T. They used to play each other on Thanksgiving Day for years, and it seems now every time we have a classic Group 1 playoff, it's Paulsboro and Glassboro.
Of course, the last couple of years, while Paulsboro has been building its national winning streak to 63, Glassboro's had a couple real good shots at Paulsboro, came up short.
And I don't think anyone will forget, 2 years ago it was 9-6 on a rainy day here in December. And last year, Glassboro has the ball. It's 12-12. We think we're heading for overtime, an interception, and Paulsboro comes through again. What will this year bring?
There was a point in this season when a lot of people felt Glassboro would not even be in the playoffs, Fred. They won their first two, then they went on a 3-game losing streak, but they've regrouped nicely to win their last four.
Bob Cleary said that was the key to the whole success this year. They played three excellent teams. They played Gloucester, they played Deptford, and they played Williamstown. Bang, bang, bang. And he said that was the measure of whether the team was going to stay together or where they were going to fold. They weathered the storm. They came through with 4 wins in a row. They're here, and they're ready to win.
They have a couple of key skill position players in the Glassboro team, Fred. One, of course, their quarterback, Derek Satelli, Julian Worley, a fine running back. Two great players.
Two great players. And Bob Cleary told me before the game, he said last week's game against Haddon Township was a perfect football game. Satelli only had one dropped pass. That was by the coach's son with a broken arm. And Julian Worley has rushed for over 1,000 yards this year, and he's only a junior.
Paulsboro, of course, lost the second game of the season to Woodbury, 14-13. That snapped that 63-game winning streak, but they won their last 7. They look like they're peaking.
It was interesting. Through the Colonial Conference, a lot of teams saw that 14-13 score to Woodbury. We're licking their chops, saying maybe this is the year we can get Paulsboro. Not to be.
Pretty good balanced attack for the Paulsboro Red Raiders this year offensively.
Vernon Sharper, outstanding athlete, can play defense as well as offense. Great quarterback, can run and throw. And everybody in South Jersey knows about Troy Bennett, outstanding player. But maybe watch number 3 today in Preston Hamilton.
What does Glassboro have to do today to go off the schneid against Paulsboro?
Play great defense. Play great defense. They have to stop the Red Raiders and take them out of their ball control offense. If they can do that, I think they'll be successful. The other key that they have to do, play error-free football.
Okay, Fred. Another chapter in the Glassboro-Paulsboro rivalry today in the semifinals of Group 1. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
You gotta move.
Fred Schwartz and Bob Shryock at Paulsboro High School. Semifinal action, NJSIAA Group 1 playoffs. And the long-time rivalry, Glassboro and Paulsboro, resuming today. Another opportunity for the Bulldogs at Glassboro High School to defeat Paulsboro. They've been frustrated in recent years. Glassboro will be kicking off to Paulsboro, and Fred Schwartz, a very strong wind, a crosswind, could affect play today.
Definitely going to have an effect on the passing game, and will have an effect on the kicking game, and they could be crucial factors today.
Anthony Scott, Preston Hamilton deep. And kicking off, Terrence Holmes for Glassboro. Good, high, deep kickoff with the wind into the end zone, so Paulsboro will start from its own 20-yard line. We're underway at Paulsboro High School. Paulsboro coming in 8-1 in the season, riding a 7-game winning streak, and Glassboro 6-3. They've won 4 consecutively.
And Bob, even though despite we have maybe a 30 to 40 mile an hour wind at gusts at times, great day for football. Good intense weather, high 40-degree temperatures. The crowd's ready, and we're ready.
Vernon Sharper having a tremendous season for Paulsboro High School at quarterback. He'll run the attack. Familiar power I formation for the Red Raiders. Hand off to the tailback and getting into the clear with some great running room. Huge gainer.
Preston Hamilton.
Preston Hamilton.
Just a great opening play, a little eye lead where the fullback comes through, blocks on the linebacker. Paulsboro's offensive line did an outstanding job of at the point of attack, and Hamilton just scooted once he got through the line of scrimmage.
22-yard gain for the first down by Preston Hamilton, so the Red Raiders looking sharp on their first offensive play. Troy Bennett, of course, is the fullback, been playing since his freshman year here at Paulsboro High School, and still only a junior. And they hand off to Bennett going absolutely nowhere, and meets a wall in the middle of the Glassboro line. And he will no gain in the play. It'll be second down and 10. Last up off the pile is Floyd Taylor for the Bulldogs.
Bob Cleary said before the season that he was worried about losing the big man from last year, Gary Brackett, who played so well at linebacker. And he's been pleasantly surprised with how this defense has gelled since the beginning of the season, Bob.
Bennett actually lost a yard in the play. It'll be second down and 11. Decent crowd on hand for this game, but it is cold and it is windy. And perhaps those factors cutting down the size of the crowd.
There's been a lot of talk online this week in the different sports forums about the price of playoff tickets, and now being $6, and those that are going up to play at Rutgers this week, it's $10 to get in.
Well, you're now a high school athletic director at Audubon High School, Fred. How do you feel about those prices?
I like to see the biggest crowd we possibly can, and I kind of like those $3, $2, and $1 tickets myself.
There apparently is some problem with the scoreboard clock. The clock's showing still showing 12 minutes, so that is a delay in the game right now. George Reeves is a referee in today's game. He is probably refereed more games on Comcast than anyone I can think of, and he's a good one.
Yeah, I work with him a lot in track meets, and just a very personable guy. Lives down Ocean City now.
Well, they fixed the clock, and we're ready to go. Second down and 11. The ball at the 41-yard line for the Red Raiders. Hamilton and Bennett, the backs behind Vernon Sharper. The deep man gets in, and a tremendous defensive play. Richard Willis on the play for Glassboro, throwing Hamilton for a loss back to the 38-yard line. So that's back-to-back great defensive plays by that Glassboro line, Fred.
And really impressive for Glassboro that they haven't gotten problems with that first run that broke for 22 yards. They've gathered themselves up, and they're making a stand right now.
Third down and 14, possible first passing down for Vernon Sharper, who throws the ball well, has had a good year throwing the football, and this Red Raider offense has been well balanced, as has been Glassboro's. Sharper stops deep to throw, swings it out to Holloway, and he will not get much yardage. Outstanding defensive play by the Bulldogs' Terrence Patterson. So 3 tremendous defensive plays in a row, and the Raiders will have to punt.
Bob, great job by the cornerback, Patterson. He read screen, saw the lineman reach out, and it was him and all Red Raiders, so he made the outstanding play.
The freshman James Funk punting for Paulsboro. Terrence Holmes deep along with Julian Worley for the Bulldogs. And you can see how the wind is holding that ball up. Pretty good punt by Funk. Ball goes out at the 36-yard line. So the Bulldogs of Glassboro High with their first possession of the football game. They've been frustrated in this series recently, Fred, but a lot of people give them a chance again today to pull off the upset against number 1 seeded Paulsboro.
I think so, Bob, basically because they have so much speed. It's going to be a key for the Red Raiders here to contain the speed and force Glassboro to do the things they don't like to do.
Derek Satilli runs the offense for Glassboro, and he is a big one. 6'3", 217 pounds, and he has a big-time arm, Fred.
Yes, he does, and he has receivers this year to catch the football. He could be a big factor before the day's done.
First and 10 from the 36-yard line, and they run a reverse with Holmes. Holmes has some room, and Holmes with a good gainer to close to first down yardage at the 46-yard line. So a little razzle-dazzle to start the day for Glassboro.
And Bob, you almost have to like that because so many teams take that first play and then take it close to the vest and they just run an easy play to see with the defense. Bob Cleary was going for the home run at the beginning.
They're bringing the markers in to measure, so a 10-yard gain, or about a 10-yard gain for Terrence Holmes, who is a freshman for Glassboro High School. He's going to be a good one. First down on the first offensive play for Glassboro. Of course, Paulsboro accomplished that as well. Glassboro peaking. They had a tough time in the middle of the season, Fred, with those 3 consecutive losses, but they had a big win over Haddon Township last week, 51-12. That surprised a lot of people that they scored that many against Haddon Township.
Absolutely, and also they're a 5th seed, so a year ago they wouldn't even made the playoffs.
Straight ahead. Oh boy. Big hit in the middle by the tough guy in the middle of that Paulsboro line. Warren Sharper, linebacker. He is a great player.
He sure is, and also a pretty good wrestler, but I think that type of play is indicative of what we're going to see all day, because these teams go at each other with an intensity that's matched very rarely.
And a loss back to the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Bulldogs. And off to Worley with the 1,000-yard season, trying to pick his way along the line, but he'll go absolutely nowhere. Worley with no gain. It'll be 3rd down. So similar starts, Fred, as each team had a big gainer in their first play and then had trouble moving the ball thereafter.
And that's good football teams, that you may get that early play, but you're going to settle down and play your good defense. On that one, great job of pursuit down the line by Sharper again. The end string to play out, the linebacker finishes it off.
3rd down and 11, so look for Sattelli to throw the ball in this now. Terrence Patterson, one of his favorite receivers, split to the near side. Sattelli to throw. Coverage breaking, and he dumps it off to Worley somehow. And Worley is hauled down in another big play by Warren Sharper, and it'll be 4th down, and Glassboro will have to punt. So good job by Sattelli of dumping that off, Fred, but then an outstanding defensive play by Sharper.
And let's also miss on that. Great job of defensive secondary by Paulsboro. Sattelli had the time to throw, nobody open.
So a loss on the play, 4th down and about 12. Preston Hamilton deep to receive the punt for Paulsboro High School. The wind really kicking up. Low snap from center.
Balls away, balls away.
Good job by Willis of getting the punt off. Doesn't get much distance. And we'll take time out from Paulsboro High School. No score. Glassboro and Paulsboro.
Back it up, you got it.
Good.
Paulsboro with a 1st and 10 from its own 33-yard line with 6:56 to play first quarter, no score. Sharper to throw, going deep, and just overshoots the intended receiver, Lionel Sharper, and Sharper had a couple of steps on his man, Fred.
And I'll tell you what, he impressed me that time with the arm that he has. He threw that ball across a pretty good crosswind and had a wide open receiver. Mr. Sharper is going to be a key figure before this game's over.
2nd and 10, ball at the 33-yard line. Each team with 1 first down. Each team stopped on its 2nd series. Hamilton in the slot. Bennett, the lone back, set behind Vernon Sharper on 2nd down and 10. Sharper, kick out pass, and incompleted pass. It looked like it could have been behind the...
I was going to say, that's really close to being a lateral,
yeah,
that's for sure.
Incompleted pass, 3rd down and 10.
But a really good idea. Paulsboro set a slot out to the wide side of the field, then sent their back in motion and tossed him a little pass. That's as great as a running play, a quick pitch to the outside. I think we're seeing an awful lot of probing being done by both offenses now to see what they can do.
So 3rd down call coming up for the Red Raiders. 2 receivers split to the far side. Hamilton in the slot to the near side. They put him in motion. Run the same play, and again, incomplete. So they run the same play back-to-back, and Paulsboro will have to punt for the 2nd time.
Basically what we're going to see on this play is the ball is going to be thrown behind the line of scrimmage, which allows blocking to be done. Now that's awful close to being a lateral, and the slot's going to throw a block, which is okay. Going to be interesting with that play.
Funk punting to either Holmes or Worley. Line drive punt. Taken by Holmes, fumbles the ball, picks it up, and he'll be down at about the 34-yard line. So Glassboro with its 2nd possession. The defense is prevailing in the early going with 6:28 to play in a scoreless first period. Semifinal action in the expanded playoffs. Fred, you like the expanded playoffs?
Yes, I do. I thought that for a while we'd have trouble with the season opening a week, but it really gave a lot of teams that couldn't make the playoffs a chance to play a 10th game and gave some of those 6th, 7th, and 8th place teams a chance to play and show themselves.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball at the 34-yard line. Satilli, quick out pass to Holmes. Holmes spinning his way and gets a couple of yards. Pretty good job of running with the football. That's the freshman, Terrence Holmes. We're going to hear a lot more from him the next couple of years, Fred.
Yes, we are, and that's again shows Case Glassboro's idea to use their speed, but Paulsboro showing that they have a little bit of speed of their own and neutralize that play in a hurry.
Only a 1-yard gain on the play to the 35. Second down and 9 for the Bulldogs. Glassboro with a 51-12 win over Haddon Township. Paulsboro routing St. Pleasant Earl 28-0 in their playoff first round game last week. Straight ahead and some pretty good running room for Bruce Williams. Williams gets about 4 to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up a third down and about 6 for the Bulldogs.
Williams is also a junior, and it's interesting to watch it. Glassboro, a team that's made the playoffs, starting 5 juniors in important positions. So they're going to be a team to reckon with again next year also.
So big third down call coming up for Glassboro.
Come on, D, come on! Right in!
Satilli at the controls. Fires it over the middle. He guns the football, and it was right on target. Dropped by Sean Michael Cleary, but he took a couple of pops for him.
And also to give Sean a little advantage, he has a cast on his hand and doesn't make that for the easiest catching, but it's a hard-hitting game, Bob, and it's going to continue to be that way.
Sean, of course, the son of Bob Cleary, the head coach of Glassboro High School, and Sean has had a great junior season. So a punting duel here in the first period. Preston Hamilton deep for the Red Raiders. Willis kicking for Glassboro. Another low snap. Gets it off, no trouble. High spiraling punt, pretty good. And a fair catch called for by Preston Hamilton. And the Red Raiders with their third possession of the first quarter. So it's a punting duel with 4:53 to play first quarter.
Bob, that happens a lot of times in these playoff games, is the fact that to get here you have to have a good defense. And sometimes the defense can dominate, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. I think we're going to see a little offense starting right here.
What a tremendous series this has been, of course. So many years played on Thanksgiving Day, way back into the 20s. Been some great games between these two schools with tremendous football traditions. Bennett has some room. He is and the ball is loose and recovered by Worley. And it's Glassboro ball. First turnover of the football game. Julian Worley coming up with Bennett's fumble. And the Bulldogs in Paulsboro territory at the 43-yard line.
We'll see again on this play, just a straight handoff to Bennett, almost like a belly. He comes through untouched, gets popped, and out comes the football. Worley had to think of where to run and flop, and I think he made the right move by diving on the football and giving the Bulldogs first down in Paulsboro territory.
First time either school has been in the other school's territory so far. First and 10, ball at the 43. Satilli with a straight drop. It's a big rush. He will be sacked, and that ball is loose. Coming up with it is Williams. Williams still running around. What a strange play. Now a penalty marker is thrown in. That is about as odd-looking a play as you'll ever see.
Bob, I got to agree with you because Satilli decided to go for the home run on the first play. Paulsboro blitzed, got through, and got to Satilli. He drops the ball, and it's picked up by the fullback, and now we have a flag. This could be a huge loss for Glassboro.
I'll say. So the good news is they keep the football. The bad news is this is going to be one of the all-time losses.
Now in high school football, the penalty will be marked off from the spot of the flag, where the flag is, or the foul was done. So this penalty is going to probably go back all the way inside the 25-yard line of Glassboro.
And of course, we started this play from the 43 of Paulsboro. This will be one of the all-time losses on this play. That was one of those sacks with 4 people involved, like quarter sacks for each, I guess, all the way back to the 19th. Fred, this is a loss on the play of, let's see if I can count this, 38-yard loss on the play.
And the only positive we can think for Glassboro at the moment is it still stays first down.
I don't think I ever saw a 38-yard loss, so it's got to be what now? First down and 48.
Yes.
You ever see a first and 48 before?
No, sir, I have not.
Tilly, the handoff to Worley. Worley cutting back, breaking some tackles. Worley still in. Nice job by Worley. Gets some decent yardage.
And our first really look at Worley and how he's gained his 1,059 yards. He not only has good speed, but he has good running instincts. Followed his guard all the way through on that sweep and cut it back inside to get extra yards.
Well, he got 12 yards, but it's still second down and 36. So they need a couple big plays here to get the first down. They got to get all the way down to the 32-yard line of Paulsboro. Worley and Williams, the backs in the eye behind Satilla with 2 wide receivers split to the far side. Satilla, they run the draw with Worley. Worley, no place to run. He'll lose yardage. And that Paulsboro defense doing the job as usual. Bennett in on the play. Also Holloway getting up last from the pile was Scott Guerin, but a lot more help on the play as well. Also in on there was Brian Relation, 265-pound senior, two-way tackle. What a great career he's had. Now it is third down, and that makes it about 39. Third and 30. You have a third and 39 play, Fred?
I was going to say quick kick.
That's what we'd have done 30 years ago. Worley tripped up. It looked like he was unimpeded tripped up there, but it's going to be fourth down and about a quarter of a mile. They got to get down to about Mickleton to get the first down in this one.
I was going to say that's pretty good, Bob. But I wonder now if the punt's going to actually reach the original line of scrimmage.
So it's fourth down for the Bulldogs in this defensive duel here in the first quarter. Each punter punting 3 times already, and we still have 2:15 to play in the first quarter. Willis punting to Preston Hamilton. Bad snap from center. Good job by Willis. It gets off pretty good punt. Actually, very good punt. And it does get past the original line of scrimmage to the 35. Not a bad job at all by Richard Willis.
He may be our star of the game so far because he had to pick the first 3 punts off the ground.
So the Red Raiders starting again, and it has been strictly defense here in the first quarter. Bennett 58 to play in the first. Winner of this one plays the winner of the Woodbury-Florence game being played today in the championship game in 2 weeks. Sharper with a big hole. And Sharper breaking tackles, and nice first down carry for him across midfield to about the 48-yard line. That is Warren Sharper on the carry. He's a load. Senior, 225-pound, 5'9", tough man to bring down.
Paulsboro went back to the same play they opened the game with. Now this time, instead of Preston Hamilton, they used Sharper, who has speed plus size. And well, you're right saying a load. He was tough to bring down.
14-yard gain, first down and 10 for the Red Raiders. Same ball carrier, breaks a tackle. Sharper, penalty markers down, battling for extra yardage, and he appears to have another first down, but there is a penalty.
And unfortunately in that location, Bob, that's either probably a clip or a hold.
It is a hold, and the Red Raiders will back up. So back-to-back great runs by Warren Sharper, but a penalty accompanying the second, and they'll move back.
With the wheels turning upstairs and down on the sidelines, Paulsboro seems to find out that this little lead off the eye with the tailback and Bennett going up and cleaning up on the linebacker is going to be their successful play for today.
So they're using the big back offense with Bennett and Sharper. Penalty takes them back to the 47-yard line.
Back it up! Back it up!
Minute 15 with the clock running in the first period. Bennett with the carry, but he'll get only about a yard. Cleary in on the play for the Bulldogs. Cleary, the leading tackler on the Bulldog team this season.
And I think another thing, we talked about how he dropped a pass, but outstanding in the classroom, outstanding. He scored 1430 on his college boards as a junior.
1430?
I told Coach Cleary before the game, I said, I don't think you're going to have to write any tuition checks.
Fred, you and I would have to take it 3 times to get to 14.
That's for sure.
That's right. Together, yeah. Second down. The option tips to Sharper. Sharper, boy, that's a great tackle by Terrence Patterson, or Sharper would still be running.
Absolutely, and it's sacrificing your body to make the tackle. He did that by just literally throwing himself into Sharper. But Sharper's looking, if he doesn't fall down, he scores.
Could be the final play of the first quarter. 8 seconds, 7 seconds of clock running. Don't think Paulsboro will get this one off. So we played 1 quarter at Paulsboro High School. It's been all defense so far. The Red Raiders nothing, the Glassboro Bulldogs nothing. We'll be right back. No score and no scoring threats in the first quarter. Glassboro and Paulsboro 0-0. Fred Schwartz and Bob Schrack bringing you the semifinal Group 1 playoff action from Paulsboro High School. Third down for the Red Raiders. The 47-yard line of Glassboro. Sharper to throw, getting a big rush. Fires it and completed to Bennett. Bennett with his head down. He gets a good lick knocked out of bounds by Terrence Holmes. But it appears to be first down yardage for the Red Raiders. Nice call on third down, Fred.
And once again, showing the versatility of Vernon Sharper. A little waggle action or boot action, whatever you want to say. He got outside, could see everything. Bennett, for the fullback out of the backfield short, gets the pass, first down, Red Raiders.
Deepest penetration for Paulsboro to the Glassboro 35-yard line. We're in the early stages of the second quarter with no score. Bennett and Warren Sharper behind Vernon Sharper. Sharper with the handoff. Sharper breaking tackles. Good job on the tackle. Or Sharper would probably still be running. The tackle made by Anthony Haggerty. Good play by Haggerty, but a nice gain by Sharper. And another first down just inside the 25.
And the play they just ran is really the play of the 90s. We like to call it the stretch, where the back gets the ball, goes outside the tackle, tries to stretch the field out in the defense and get the first down, and Sharper sure did it.
Bennett, he is submarine. Real nice play. Real nice play by number 68, Terry Stranix. 5'8", 210-pounder. He submarined that play, made a nice defensive move. No gain, second down and 10.
Well, now if we've noticed so far, Glassboro's done a great job of bottling up the inside game, especially with Bennett at fullback. They've had trouble with the outside game in the past, so I'm going to make my first choice of the day and look for Sharper to put the ball up right here.
Second and 10, ball at the 25. Sharper to throw, gets a big rush, gets it out to looking for Bennett, but good rush that time, creating the errant pass as Floyd Taylor was in on the play along with David Brown, 275-pounder.
And a great idea, great plan, but outstanding rush by Mr. Taylor there. Made Sharper throw the ball before it was ready because Bennett was open again.
Taylor's only a sophomore. A lot of good young players in this game on both teams. Third down and 10. Another critical third down call. The last one the Red Raiders converted. So they'll split the backs behind Vernon Sharper with Lonnie Hampton split to the near side. Sharper, and they go deep and defended well, really defended well by Chris Sheridan. He had perfect position on that play.
And again, to see the thinking that Paulsboro had, Hampton, who was the receiver out there, is 6'2". The defender, Sheridan, probably about 5'8". So the play was go to the corner, throw it up, and see what you can do.
4 down territory, so on 4th down and 10, the Red Raiders will go for the first down. They're at the 25. So the Bulldog defense bending a little bit, but so far not breaking. We're still scoreless. With 10:15 to play in the half. 4th down call. Sharper goes deep and had a man open. He had Scott Guerin open, but the pass incomplete. Coverage on the play again by Sheridan, and nice job defensively by Glassboro.
And once again, I guess as you look at Paulsboro was moving the ball very well outside on the run, got into a mode where they tried to throw a pass, got a little behind on it, and then threw 4 consecutive passes and were unable to move the football. So a victory for Glassboro there. We'll see what they can do for offense.
They'll start from their own 25-yard line with a first down and 10. They'll split the backs behind Satili. Handoff straight ahead. Not much running room. Worley, who has been held in check pretty much so far for the Bulldogs, gains about 2 in the play. It'll be actually about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Bob, I think we have to give a lot of credit to that front defensive line of Paulsboro. They're really controlling Glassboro's offensive linemen. Worley does not have much room to go for anything.
2nd and 7. Satili running the attack. Almost fumbles the ball. Worley is going to be stopped. Hold down, a big play by Hollowell. Also helping on the play, Deontay Ruffin. That play didn't have a chance from the start.
No, it looked like it was a botched play. The handoff was missed, or as we can check in here when you see Satili coming out, and you can see how when he reaches back, now there's no opportunity for Worley to go anywhere. Now to his ability, he tries to create, but Paulsboro just is so sound defensively, they're not going to make a mistake.
So it's 3rd down and about 13 for the Bulldogs. They're at their own 22-yard line. And we're still having problems with the scoreboard clock. Now they rewind it. 8 minutes, 55 seconds to play in the half. 0-0, Glassboro and Paulsboro. The big 3rd down call coming up for Satili is 2 receivers are split to the near side, 1 to the far side. The Bulldogs call a timeout. And we'll take timeout from Paulsboro High School. Still scoreless. We'll be back. Third down and 13 for the Bulldogs. They're at their own 22-yard line. Satili, straight drop back. Can't find a receiver. He'll try to run it out, and he'll take a couple of pops. The first one by Bennett with help on the play from Anthony Scott. Short of the first down, and another punt. Punter's getting a lot of practice today.
Absolutely, and we'll see if he has to pick it off the ground again. But again, the secondary for Paulsboro are doing an outstanding coverage job because Satili had no one to throw to.
Vernon Sharper deep for Paulsboro. I'm not sure whether Preston Hamilton might be injured. We have not seen him in a while, and he was returning punts, and he was in the starting backfield. Willis punting again for the Bulldogs. Another bad snap from center. This one he's not going to get away, but he's going to try to run it out. He has a lot of room. Willis looking for some blockers. Willis still on his feet. Down the left sideline. Willis trying to go all the way. Will he go? What a play! What an unusual play. Glassboro on the scoreboard, Fred Schwartz. They get a bad snap from center, and it winds up with a 78-yard touchdown run by the punter, Richard Willis. What a strange play.
And it's just like you draw it up in practice the other day. It's incredible that happened, but great thinking done by the Willis to know what to do after the ball was on the ground, because that was a dead block by Paulsboro.
That is the 4th consecutive errant snap on a punt. This one, he had no chance to get the punt away, ran it out, had all kind of room down the left sideline, picked up a couple of great blocks, 78-yard touchdown run on one of the strangest plays you'll ever see. Terrence Holmes will try to make it 7-0 out of the hold of Terrence Patterson. Boots long enough, and it is good. The extra point is good, and at the 7:44 mark at 7-0. Look at this play again.
Now, if we watch, it's right down on the ground. Willis has no idea where it is, but he picks it up and says, now I'm going to go. Paulsboro's rushed 10 people, so there's nobody downfield. Now watch as he's down running along the sidelines. He points as to which way he wants his blockers to block. There it is, and into the end zone he goes. What a tremendous effort by
That is as strange a play as you'll ever see. So Glassboro, sensing the upset opportunity, jumps on top of Paulsboro 7-0. The Raiders, uncharacteristically, going to have to come from behind in this one. But that is a bizarre play, to say the least.
And I think we've all talked about Paulsboro committed 10 people to block that punt. And when they missed the kicker, there was just nothing but open field, Bob.
So surprisingly, Glassboro, in a punting situation, they botched the punt and wind up scoring on a 78-yarder. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I'm sure I haven't.
recall ever seeing that play before.
Now the question is, does that go into your highlight film?
It's going to go in Glassboro's highlight
That's
film, I
for
can
sure.
tell you that. Terrence Holmes kicking off for the Bulldogs, who lead Paulsboro 7-0. Paulsboro fans a bit shocked over that one, as we are.
Absolutely.
.744 the time of the score by Richard Willis. Pretty good kickoff, but it'll stay in bounds, be picked up by Hamilton at about the 8-yard line, and Hamilton breaks one tackle, still on his feet, twisting, but finally dragged down by Chris Sheridan. So the Raiders will start this possession from fairly deep in their own territory at the 22-yard line. So let's see if the Raiders can bounce back from that bizarre touchdown.
In the years of me watching Paulsboro, this seems to always light a fire within the Raiders. They react better than any team I've ever seen to adversity.
At the 22-yard line, 1st and 10, Paulsboro. Sharper. He upturned, and Glassboro defense loving that one. In on the play, Terrence Patterson with part of the tackle. We saw Patterson in another game on Comcast this year. Made some tremendous defensive plays. So a gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8.
Bob, I think this is one of the most important drives Paulsboro is going to have. Basically, they've got to take a little emotion out of Glassboro. Glassboro's playing with an awful lot now. They're pumped up with a touchdown. A nice big drive by Paulsboro will equal that in a heartbeat.
2nd and 8. Pitch to Sharper. Sharper getting to the corner, and he knocks, gives Terrence Holmes a good lick, but still a good job defensively by the Bulldogs, and that'll bring up a, let's see where that is. Close to the 1st down, a little bit short, about a yard short. 3rd down and 1 for the Red Raiders. Ball at the 32-yard line. Paulsboro needs a 1st down here. They need to sustain a drive to get over the sting of that 78-yard touchdown run by Richard Willis.
And that's true, Bob. Going into today's game, Coach Howard said that that's what they thought was their key, to go on those long ball control, time-eating drives, and it'll take it right away from Glassboro's speed.
3rd and 1 for the Red Raiders. Long count. Sharper. Dragged down from behind. What great pursuit by Anthony Haggerty. But he does have the 1st down, it appears. 1st down for the Red Raiders. Ball at about the 33-yard line. So they'll keep possession. 5:58 to play in the 1st half. 7-0 Glassboro. Scott.
Yeah, you were right, Bob. We're looking down now at the bench, and we can see that Preston Hamilton is being, looks like, taped up quickly by the trainer.
The pitch to Sharper. Sharper again hurdling tacklers, but there is that ever-present Terrence Patterson. Couple-yard pickup on the play to about the 42-yard line. Second down and 6 for the Red Raiders.
I'm sure Glassboro's now going over with their defense and say, don't give up the home run. Make Paulsboro earn it and hope that they're going to make a mistake somewhere along the line.
Again, Sharper. And another good defensive play by that Chris Sheridan. How many times have we called his name here in the first half?
And you're right, Bob. He made an outstanding play. He was being blocked by the wide receiver. He fought off the block of the wide receiver and went right in to make the tackle on a guy that's probably almost 40 pounds more than he is in weight. So great job by Mr. Sheridan.
The advance to the 46-yard line. Third down and a long 2, almost 3 for the Red Raiders as they try to mount a drive that would get them even in this game. Equipment repair here for Warren Sharper. So they'll bring Hamilton back in. Hamilton apparently okay, ready to go. So another big third down call coming up for Paulsboro. Sharper, quick out. And it's completed for the first down. Nice call, nice conservative call for the first down. The reception by Lionel Sharper. Sharper's all over the field in this game. And the Red Raiders with the first down at about the 48-yard line. So back-to-back first downs, just what they wanted to accomplish.
Absolutely, Bob. One of those quick timing patterns that you work on every day in practice. A quick 5-yard out by the receiver. The ball's delivered before the cut's made, and it's almost impossible to defend.
Now they'll split Bennett and Sharper behind the quarterback, Vernon Sharper. Quick out again, and this one completed again to Lionel Sharper. Sharper to Sharper.
And we might see something. Sheridan really reacted quickly to that quick stop pattern, so you may see Paulsboro come back with a stop and go pattern.
Second down and 5 after the 5-yard pickup in the Glassboro territory at the 47-yard line. Working out of the split back set now. They run the draw with Bennett. Bennett has some room. Bennett breaking tackles. Bennett bulling ahead. And that gets the Paulsboro fans on their feet. Big first down carry for Troy Bennett. And that is 3 first downs in a row in this series. This advanced to the 33.
Bennett's showing everybody today why he is so highly thought of, even though he's only a junior. A quick slant trap, and Bennett just ran over people, through people, however you want to call it. What an outstanding football player Troy Bennett is.
2:45 with the clock running in the half. They faked the draw this time. Sharper getting a big rush. And well, they did not call interference against Sheridan. And the Paulsboro bench not happy with that one. Sheridan defending Lionel Sharper. It just goes as an incompleted pass, 2nd and 10.
But Bob, I'm watching it without a replay. I really think the Paulsboro receiver ran into the Glassboro defender. So I think that was a great call by the official. Great no call, I guess we could say.
2nd and 10, ball at the 33-yard line. Clock stopped with 2:35 to play in the half. Glassboro 7, Paulsboro nothing. Back to the power I formation. Take the draw, Sharper. And is it completed? Completed to Bennett. A couple of yards in the play, not a whole lot. Only about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 8 as that Glassboro defense really been the story of the game so far. Does the job again.
And Bob, you're right. That was a really slow developing screen, and Glassboro had plenty of time to react to it. They ran their outside receivers on post patterns and then slipped Bennett out of the backfield, put him on a screen, but Glassboro did a great job of reacting.
2 wide receivers to the near side with Sharper in the slot on the 3rd down and 8 call. And a quick out to Sharper. Sharper has no blocking, and he will be dragged down Worley in on the play. Cleary also out there. David Brown. And a 4th down coming up, so Paulsboro wants a timeout to talk about this. They want to get that equalizer before halftime, but they have a tough call here with a 4th down and 7. We'll take timeout from Paulsboro High School. Bit of a surprise. Glassboro 7, Paulsboro nothing. Minute 43 to go in the first half, and Paulsboro faced with a critical 4th down and 7 situation here at the Glassboro 29-yard line, and this is the biggest offensive play of the first half so far for the Red Raiders. They need to hold on to the football on a 4th down and 7. Sharper dumps it over the middle, and tremendous defensive play by Sean Michael Cleary, and Glassboro takes over as he puts the lick on Bennett. He read that perfectly.
Absolutely, Bob. And that little quick screen to the fullback, there was nobody past Sean Michael Cleary. If he doesn't make the tackle, Bennett might be in the end zone. Outstanding play.
So the Glassboro defense doing the job again, and they will take possession at their own 30-yard line, and we'll see if they play this conservatively with a minute 37 to go in the half. I would think they would, because they've had a very successful first half with the strange touchdown to put them in the lead. Worley tripped up on a nice play by Joe Trexler. Now, Paulsboro wants timeout because they want the football back before halftime.
This will be interesting, Bob, because I'm sure statistically Glassboro probably has under 50 yards of offense, if they even have that, and yet have the lead 7-0.
2nd down and 11. Ball at the 28-yard line. So this has been an unusual first half as the defenses have prevailed, and the only score of the game, a 78-yard touchdown run by Richard Willis, who only was trying to punt the football and winds up scoring. I think the only touchdown I've ever seen on a play like that in my career. That's what got him on the scoreboard. Then the extra point kick was good. They lead 7-0.
I think the only play the close that I can ever remember was Paulsboro playing Florence one year. It wasn't a punt situation. Kevin Harvey pitched the ball out to nobody, went back, picked the ball up, and ran about 85 yards for a touchdown.
Well, he did a lot of things like that. He was one of a kind. 2nd down and 11 for the Bulldogs. A minute 30 to play in the half. It'll be a very interesting second half. Hand off to Taylor. He goes absolutely nowhere, and another Paulsboro timeout with a minute 24 to go. A loss on a play of 2 more. It'll be 3rd down and 14.
And good strategy by Coach Howard here, because what they want to do is get Glassboro into a 4th down situation where they have to punt again, because knowing that snap's been down on the ground, they'll take a chance with a block. We couldn't see it twice, could we?
I would think not. Semifinals in Group 1, of course, the expanded playoff this year. This time Woodbury and Florence playing. No more timeouts for Paulsboro, so they'll try to make the stop on this play, and they'll at least get the ball back with a minute 24 to go. Woodbury hosting Florence, and Woodbury the number 2 seeded team, Fred, but a lot of people think Florence can win that game.
Well, Florence has at least three Lundys that are playing in their lineup. They have great talent. They beat some good teams in Moorestown. They only lost to Northern Burlington earlier in the year, but I think they have the speed to match up, but the difference in that game is going to be Ryan Kent.
It's a good one. And Howard walking off the field. 3rd down and 14 for the Bulldogs. Paulsboro trying to get the ball back before halftime.
We gotta respect this.
And a good run here by Worley. He's close to the 1st down.
Probably the best effort we've seen out of Worley since the first time he touched the ball. Interesting dilemma now for Glassboro. It's 4th down and less than a yard probably. You definitely think you got a punt. Well, looks like it's close enough to measure.
This plays into Paulsboro's hands because the measurement stops the clock.
Right. The other factor when you look at it now is, do you run the ball and try to get the first down, given the ball on the 40-yard line, if you miss it, or do you take that punt with the way it's been on the snaps all day?
You see about a foot to go on 4th down, so interesting call here for head coach Bob Cleary and his staff.
And I think he's made the decision. They're going to go for it.
They don't want to give the Red Raiders back the ball before halftime. Clock running again, a minute 8, minute 7. I think they have enough confidence in their defense at this point that if they don't make it, they feel they can hold them in this last minute. 4th down and about a foot. So Tilly might just keep this and lunge forward. He takes I think they tried to draw them off sides.
Yeah, the good old famous no play where you try to move around and make different counts to draw them off sides, but Paulsboro wasn't going to buy it. Now Coach Cleary has a very interesting decision.
Bob Cleary's had a fine career as head football coach at Glassboro High School. Hasn't always gotten, I don't think, as much credit as he deserves, Fred, because he's got an outstanding record, always has a competitive team. And he's got some tremendous assistance on his staff, as does Paulsboro High School. Herb Nealio, I think, is emerging as one of the better defensive coordinators in all of South Jersey.
And he's known throughout South Jersey as being an outstanding coach. But when you mentioned with Bob does it with so much. He doesn't do it with a lot of push towards himself. He always gives the credit to his kids. He gives the credit to his assistants. But quietly, his program is as good as anybody that's around.
I think you just described Glenn Howard, too.
Yeah, you know what? That's really the truth. That's exactly right.
They're two of a kind. You talk about two guys that deflect praise all the time. Both of them do.
I know. I called Glenn up for the Touchdown Club to get a backer lineman of the week, and he just sings the praises of his kids, his assistants, and the school, and they're just great individuals to be around.
Oh, they're still going to go for it. 4th down and about a foot. Long count again by Satilli. Now they're going to take the penalty for delay of game, and they're actually going to punt the football, but they didn't use any seconds on that one.
It's an interesting situation there where they try to draw them off sides again. Gives Glassboro now a dangerous situation.
Well, they've had trouble with the snaps, but ironically, the bad snap resulted in the only score of the football game for the team that got the bad snap.
And Bob also gives Paulsboro a dilemma: is do you go after the punt or do you set up a return?
I think I go after the punt. Richard Willis again back to punt. He needs a good snap on this one because Paulsboro is sending everybody. Another bad snap, and it is blocked. It is blocked. Actually, it doesn't work out too badly for Glassboro, but at least Paulsboro, with 39 seconds to go, will be in decent field position at the 40-yard line. They just can't get the snap back to the punter.
Absolutely. And it's always easy to sit and second guess, but it's funny where the ball is right now is where the line of scrimmage was on 4th and a foot. Now watch, here comes Air Sharper for Paulsboro.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line, but they do not have any timeouts remaining in the half. So Sharper is going to be airing it out here. Sharper to throw, good protection. Breaks down, and the intended receiver on the play was Lonnie Hampton, unable to make the catch. 2nd down and 10.
We're going to get a chance here to see the punt again, and you'll be able to see how the snap comes down and low again. Glassboro kicker just barely gets the kickoff. I'm sure it was partially blocked.
Actually, they were very fortunate because if they had blocked it dead on, the ball might be back at the 15, 20-yard line.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 10 with 33 seconds to go in the half. Sharper to throw, getting a big rush, and he's going to get a grounding call here.
Absolutely.
A huge rush on the play by Floyd Taylor, the sophomore, and that will result in the intentional grounding by Vernon Sharper.
This will move the ball back 5 more yards. The officials have basically told us that what they're doing is if they think you throw the ball away to avoid a loss and there's no receiver in the area, you're going to get that flag.
So this takes Paulsboro back to its own 42-yard line. They got to be a little careful here. I would think at this point, Fred, the wise decision might be just to kneel down and go into halftime down 7-0. risk throwing an interception that could turn it into 14-0.
And I'm sure that's conventional wisdom, but I think as an offensive guy, you're always thinking we can always score.
So kind of a frustrating first half for the Paulsboro Red Raiders. 3rd down and 23. They run the draw with Hamilton, and Hamilton takes a good lick from a couple guys we talked about, Floyd Taylor and Anthony Haggerty. What a nice job by actually both defenses, but this Glassboro defense has really been the difference in the first half. 10 seconds to go, and I think the Red Raiders at this point are just going to let the clock run out and be content with going in down 7-0. So a most interesting first half at Paulsboro High School. A 78-yard touchdown run by Richard Willis on a botched Glassboro punt, and Glassboro leads Paulsboro 7-0. We'll be back right after this. Bit of a surprise. Glassboro leading Paulsboro 7-0 as we head into the second half. Fred Schwartz along with Bob Shryock and Fred. Paulsboro has not had to come behind very often in the 90s, but they're going to have to do it today. Yards rushing, Glassboro 15 for 83. A little deceiving, 78 of them on the one play, the one touchdown of the game.
Let's go. Let's set the tempo.
Yards passing, Glassboro 0, Paulsboro 25 total yards. Paulsboro with the advantage. So each team has done the job defensively, and you toss out that 78-yard touchdown run. The Paulsboro defense has been tremendous.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we look, the passing, Glassboro's 2 for 3, 0 yards. Paulsboro 7 for 15 for 25 yards. Beside Willis on his first attempt of the year, Sharper has 9 attempts for 54 yards.
Paulsboro kicking to Glassboro to start the second half. Punk with the kick, good high kick. Worley can't handle it, backs up to about his 9-yard line. Worley picking his way and still on his feet. Worley, good job by Worley, makes a nice return out of what appeared to be absolutely nothing. So the Bulldogs leading Paulsboro 7-0 with the first possession of the second half.
And Bob, I think this is extremely important for both teams. First of all, for Glassboro to establish a little offense, because they really didn't have much in the first half. For Paulsboro, if they can make a stand here, force Glassboro to punt, anything can happen.
Glassboro starting from its own 28-yard line, first down and 10. Worley and Williams the backs behind Satilli. Satilli yet to complete a pass. Williams with the carry, but nothing doing. I have a hunch this Paulsboro defense is really going to be fired up here in the second half.
And I'm sure because they're not even used to being behind in halftime in any game, let alone in a championship playoff game, which Glenn Howard never seems to ever lose.
Warren Sharper and Preston Hamilton with part of the tackle for the Red Raiders. Gain of about a yard on the play, second down and 9. Worley. Nice job by Worley, twisting and turning for a couple of extra yards. Up to about the 34, but it'll bring up a third down and third and long. Third and about 5 for the Bulldogs. Important down here, I think, for Paulsboro. They got to make a stop, get the ball back, and see if they can get their offense in gear.
It's not equally important for Glassboro because with the way their punting game has been, I don't think they want to take that chance at all today.
The wind has been terrific today, and it's been a factor big time. Worley lunging ahead, but will be short of the first down. Gets it up across the 35 to about the 36-yard line, but now it's adventure time again for Glassboro. They have not done well on the snaps on punts, but we can't repeat it often enough. That one bad snap resulted in the only score of the football game as Richard Willis ran 78 yards for a touchdown. Willis back to punt again.
It sure looks like Glassboro is going to have to expect Paulsboro is going to go after it again. Looks like 10 men coming.
Good snap this time. Willis gets a low kickoff. Boy, he looked like he hurried that one a little bit, and Paulsboro will have tremendous field position right at midfield, their first possession of the second half, and let's see if the Red Raiders can get it in gear. Their fans trying to encourage the Raiders. We had quite an event here at halftime today, Fred, as Jack Henderson came up into the press box, got on the microphone, and proposed to Crystal Gertz, who was sitting in the stands. Crystal stood up, held one thumb up. They're getting married.
Amazing things happen.
Yes.
And a flair for the dramatic.
To Jack and Crystal. Sharper, he is clobbered as he releases the ball by Richard Willis. Boy, was Richard Willis ever had an impact in this football game.
He sure has, and Glassboro really sends their defensive ends hard. Now, from the coaching point of view, when you see a defensive end come that hard, you immediately think screen back to the opposite side.
So the ball just inside midfield in Glassboro territory. 2nd down and 10 for the Red Raiders. Can't say enough good things about both defenses. This Glassboro defense, to hold a team with an offense as vaunted as Paulsboro's as it has so far, quite an accomplishment. 2nd and 10. Sharper will keep the football. Big pursuit and pulled down by Cleary. Help on the play from Julian Worley. Also over there is Sheridan. One thing this Glassboro defense does very well, Fred, is pursue.
And that's very true, because on that play, that was the successful play that Paulsboro's been running first half, where they stretched the defense out. Sharper didn't give the ball to the tailback, kept it himself, and Glassboro wasn't fooled.
Another 3rd and long. Paulsboro has been beset by a series of 3rd and longs today. This one is a 3rd and 8. They need a big play to keep the football. Vernon Sharper, the quarterback, looks like he's limping up to the center. Sharper to throw. Fires it. Has a man momentarily open, but it's knocked out of bounds by Terrence Holmes, the freshman. He was beaten by a step, Fred, but did a great job of catching up and knocking away the pass intended for Anthony Holloway.
And you're right, Bob. Speed is just tremendous when you have it, and you can outrun your mistakes, and that's what he did at that time, because Sharper had the receiver wide open.
James Funk punting for Paulsboro as the Glassboro defense does the job again. Worley deep, back at about his own 15-yard line for the Bulldogs. Funk gets off a pretty good punt. Takes a good Paulsboro bounce and rolls dead at the 10-yard line. So nice job by Funk, as Glassboro will have to begin this possession in that kind of precarious territory at his own 10-yard line.
And Bob, we've said it enough times, and every coach will reiterate, kicking game can be so important to your offense and your defense. And with Glassboro having to start on the 10-yard line, it can only mean good things for Paulsboro.
8:50 to play, 3rd quarter. Glassboro 7, Paulsboro nothing. Paulsboro with 6 consecutive NJSIAA Group 1 championships, unprecedented. That in jeopardy today in this semifinal game. Really trying to find some running room, but there's nothing there. Maybe a yard. Boy, both defenses just playing the lights out today. Up off the bottom of the pile, Deontay Ruffin for the Red Raiders. Maybe a half-yard gain, that's about it. We'll call it 2nd and 10.
Bob, we said that both teams know each other, they scout each other, they anticipate playing each other each year in the playoffs, so nobody's going to surprise anyone here.
What Paulsboro wants to do here is make a defensive stop and force that punt into the wind and get good field position as a result. Back split behind Satilli on 2nd down and 10. Worley again, and Worley with little room to run. Does get a couple of yards to near the 15-yard line, but that'll create a 3rd down and about 6 for the Bulldogs.
And once again, Bob, the wheels are turning. Glassboro's trying to go straight at Paulsboro, was not successful. Tried a little misdirection play, but Paulsboro's linebackers are just reading their keys well and staying right in their areas they're supposed to be.
So another one of those important 3rd down plays for both teams. Glassboro would love to keep possession and use up some time. The pitch to Worley. Worley trying to get outside, and there's nowhere to run. And now Glassboro in a tough spot here, Fred. They're going to have to punt the football from inside their own 5-yard line. And of course, there was a good snap on their last punt. That might be a good sign.
And that might relax Willis. I think he's been worried about the ball coming on the ground and picking up and kicking as fast as he can. Maybe he'll relax, take his time, and get that good kick when you need it.
Vernon Sharper deep for Paulsboro, but he's only back at about the 38-yard line of Glassboro. Willis has been the center of attraction in this football game. Much better snap again, gets it off. Pretty good punt, not bad at all by Willis. Takes a good Glassboro bounce, and this works out very well for the Bulldogs as the ball rolls to the 47-yard line. Not a bad job at all considering where they started. We'll take time out from Paulsboro. 7-0 Glassboro. First and 10 Raiders at their own 47-yard line. Fred Schwartz, Bob Shryock bringing you semifinal Group 1 action. Hamilton straight ahead, but he is drilled, and I mean drilled, by 275-pound David Brown.
And I tell you, you can just see it on the sidelines. You can see it on the field. With each play, Glassboro seems to get more and more confidence that they can not only play with Paulsboro, but I'm sure they think now they can beat Paulsboro.
Loss of almost 2 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 11. The ball at the 46-yard line, and a good punt by Willis. When it appeared that Paulsboro might get the ball deep into Glassboro territory, the wind is just whipping here at a ferocious rate. The pitch to Hamilton. Hamilton, oh, what a nice job. Nice job by Terrence Patterson tripping up Hamilton. Others came in to make the tackle, but the play made by Terrence Patterson.
And more bad news for Paulsboro because it looks like we have a flag down and the indication is for clipping, so it's going to go back 15 more yards.
And a clip on red, still 2nd down.
George Reeves making the call. The ball all the way back to the 31-yard line. Not good news for the Red Raiders.
And I'm sure that number 21 out there, Mr. Holmes, was the one that the clip was on. He still made an outstanding play.
5:40 clock running, 2nd down and 26 for the Red Raiders. Sharper to throw. Dumps it to Holloway. Holloway down the right sideline, has some room. And nice open field tackle made by Terrence Holmes, the freshman who's been an impact player in this game, or that one would have gone for a lot more.
Good job by the coaching staff from Paulsboro. They saw what we saw earlier in this half where the ends from Glassboro come so hard. They came back with the screen, out to Holloway, a little tight end screen, and right down the field for a huge gain.
Nice 16-yard pickup for the Red Raiders, but it's still 3rd down and about 10. Glassboro has battled Paulsboro so tough in previous years in the playoffs, and Paulsboro always finds a way to beat them, but here's another situation today. Glassboro has the lead, and the Raiders have to battle from behind. 3rd down call coming up, ball at the 47-yard line. Sharper to throw, trying to find somebody. And a bad throw, and almost picked off by Worley. The intended receiver was Lionel Sharper, but Worley was almost in a position to make the interception. Paulsboro has to punt.
Again probing. Paulsboro went down with a deep post pattern to see what Worley would do. They saw it near the end of the first half. He was stepping to the outside to cover the outside receiver. Stayed at home. Nice play, Glassboro. Punt again for Paulsboro.
Holmes, Worley deep for the Bulldogs. James Funk, the punter, gets a good snap. Gets it off. Willis was in there almost. Holmes taking it on the run and twisting and turning, finally upended on a nice open field tackle by Vernon Sharper, or he still might be running. That's a good job by Terrence Holmes because it gets Glassboro excellent field position.
And it's hard to believe that he's a freshman. He sure doesn't play like a freshman out there, Bob.
Plays with a lot of confidence, a lot of poise. There's the Boge, John Bogening, and got to be a little bit concerned about things. Assistant sports editor of the Camden Courier Post. Satilli to throw, fires it, and almost caught. And a circus try by Terrence Patterson, defended well by Deontay Ruffin.
Satilli's glad to get that ball back because he really just put that ball up for grabs. That could have gone back 55 yards the other way for a touchdown.
2nd and 10, ball at the 42-yard line. 4:55 to go, third quarter. Glassboro in a position for an upset. Paulsboro, the #1 seed in Group 1, would have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Winner of this one meets the winner of the Woodbury-Florence game for the Group 1 championship. Worley moves to the outside, still on his feet. Good job by Worley. And Worley somehow gets about 9 yards in the play. Looked like he might get absolutely nothing.
And you're right, Bob. That was all individual effort. Worley just twisting, turning, fighting for everything he could find in that particular area. Glassboro's offense just needs a first down to give themselves some confidence and keep that clock rolling.
9-yard pickup by Worley into Paulsboro territory at the 48. It'll be third down and a yard.
Yes, it feels good already.
Ryan Kelly coming in the game, replacing Warren Sharper for the Red Raiders. Third down call here in a yard. Straight ahead to Worley. He looks like he has the first down. Gets about a yard. That's all he needed, and it is a first down.
Big confidence builder for Glassboro that they can get a first down, keep that clock moving. Now they can afford to maybe take a chance. You might see Tilly throw the ball deep.
Ball at the 47-yard line, first down and 10. So any doubters at halftime, I think, have come to the realization that Glassboro is for real today. First and 10. Absolutely nothing doing here. Losing yardage on the play is Williams. Back to the 49, loss on the play of about 2 yards. Second down and 12 for the Bulldogs.
Bob, you said something really on target. A team like Paulsboro, even though they're losing right now 7-0, always believes it can win the football game. And they'll always figure they can find a way. So never count out the Red Raiders.
Well, they found a lot of ways during their 63-game winning streak that would be 71 if they hadn't lost that one-pointer to Woodbury in the second game of the season. Kelly straight drop. Can't find a receiver and dumps it off nicely to Worley. Breaks a tackle. Good job again by Worley. Only gets about 5, but it was a play that looked like it might lose yardage or be an incompletion. They get 5 on it.
You know, we talked earlier, we said Tilly had a big-time arm, but what he's showing me today, he also has some poise because he's not panicking in situations. He's not just throwing up for grabs. He's staying within himself and playing very, very well. Third
down and 5. Ball at the 42. Paulsboro looking for a defensive stop. Tilly, big rush, and he had a man open. Throw not catchable. It'll be fourth down. The intended receiver was Worley. So it's 4th and 5, and I would imagine Glassboro would try to punt Paulsboro deep here and get ahead in the battle of field position, because essentially that's what it's been all day long, a battle of field position.
And that's right, Bob. And I think they can do, if they can get a good snap, put the ball deep, at least they're going to make Paulsboro do one or two things. Go for a long home run or a long time-eating drive that plays almost into the hands of Glassboro.
Richard Willis punting to Preston Hamilton. Another snap. Pretty good punt. Hamilton watches it, and Hamilton gets a couple of yards. It looked like a kind of a risky decision, but he gets it back to about the 15. So Paulsboro has 85 yards to go to perhaps get the tying score here with 2:06 to play in the third quarter. So all of a sudden you start looking at that clock, and the way defenses have prevailed today, Fred, you might be thinking, the clock becoming Paulsboro's enemy at an early stage.
And that's true, except for one thing that we always have to think about is that speed, you're always just one big play away from tying the score.
First and 10, ball at the 15. Paulsboro's had one drive today when they had 3 first downs. Otherwise, they have not had much to sustain. This is an incompleted pass in the direction of Lionel Sharper. Looked like it was catchable, bounces off Lionel, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
And that may be another one of the setup plays we talked about before. They wanted to see exactly what Sheridan would do on the out pass, and they may set up an out and up to come future.
These Glassboro corners have done a great job today.
They really have, and I tell you, they play hard and they play smart. But you're always, when you play defensive back, you're a hero or a zero depending on what you do.
2nd and 10, ball at the 15-yard line. And they run the draw with Hamilton picking his way. Tripped up by Brown. Brown's had a big game defensively, or he would have had 1st down yardage. Gain of 5 to the 23rd and 5.
And the good thing I see so far is there isn't a sense of panicking with Paulsboro yet. They're staying with their offense. They're doing exactly what they've done all game to try to motivate something. And I think that's the way to look at it right now.
1:35 in the 3rd with the clock running. And Paulsboro again in a position where they need a 1st down desperately. 3rd down and 5, or they're going to have to punt and risk giving Glassboro a real good field position. Sharper again to throw, fires it over the middle, and it's completed to Holloway, and that's a big 1st down. The hit made by the freshman Terrence Holmes, but that was the play Paulsboro needed, and they maintained possession at the 35-yard line on a great throw by Sharper and good concentration and catch by Holloway.
And Bob, he did. He put a lot of zip on the ball. Holloway found the gap in the seam, got himself open, caught the football. 1st down Paulsboro. Confidence level increases.
1st down the Red Raiders desperately needed. Minute 5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Sharper again to throw. And he releases, and oh my, it was a stop and go by Lionel Sharper. He had beaten the defender by a couple of steps, overthrown by Vernon Sharper.
And Bob, they did exactly what we thought they were going to do. They ran that quick little out pass to see if the corner would bite. The corner bit. They ran the out and up. Sharper was open. Not enough air on the ball for Mr. Warren to give it to the other Sharper, and incomplete pass.
55 seconds to go in the 3rd, 2nd down and 10. That's got to get the Glassboro secondary thinking a little bit. It was there. Had the pass been completed, we could have a tie football game. Sharper again. Protection is improving, and he fires it to Holloway again. Big hit by Worley again. Incompleted pass. He dropped it. It looked like from our angle that Holloway held on, but it's incompleted on the big hit.
It sure did, Bob, and I'll tell you what, he came up and just cross-body blocked Holloway at time, but it was a great throw by Sharper, and again, a great pattern.
Things getting very interesting now with 48 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and Paulsboro facing another critical 3rd down. Ball at the 35-yard line. Looked like Holloway held on to the ball, but he took a big pop. Sharper getting a big rush. Sharper fires it, and it's tipped in. Oh no, it looked like Bennett might get there. But it'll be an incompleted pass and 4th down.
You're right. Well, I got it right here. Troy Bennett was open early. He was waving frantically to Vernon Sharper that he was open, but Sharper, with his athletic ability, kept the play moving. He threw it late. It was tipped. It's a punt.
Boy, I've been impressed, Fred, with the speed of 275-pound David Brown.
Yeah, he's a big-time player. I've been very impressed with him also.
Funk, not a real good punt. Takes a good Paulsboro bounce, however, and smart play by Holmes, allowing him to go out of bounds. So we have 30 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter, and Glassboro High School just 12 minutes and 30 seconds away from what would be considered, I'm sure, by Glassboro, one of the biggest wins it's had in high school football in this decade.
And there is no doubt, we were talking earlier in the game that Paulsboro has not lost in this field in 7 years. Not since 1991 to Woodbury, back in the season that they were 7-2. They lost to Collingswood on the road. They lost to Woodbury at home. No losses since then.
30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Satilli, straight drop, fires it. Completed to Holmes. Holmes trying to break tackles, pulled down by Hamilton. I think we're going to be hearing a little bit from Terrence Holmes the next 3 seasons in high school football.
Yeah, I think he's going to be running the football. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Clock running with 10 seconds to go. That could be the final play of the 3rd quarter. 4 seconds, 3. That'll do it. So after 3 quarters from Paulsboro High School, Glassboro sensing the upset 7, And Paulsboro nothing. We'll be back with the last 12 minutes right after this.
This is it, baby. This is it. Come on now.
Well, just 12 minutes to go in the season for one of these teams. Glassboro 7, Paulsboro nothing. Start of the fourth quarter. Ball at the 40-yard line. 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs. And nice job by Worley. He is very close to the first down. And although Worley has not had big yardage today, Fred, we've seen evidence on many of his runs, his ability.
And I think that's true, and we have to give Paulsboro credit. They're one of the stingiest defenses in South Jersey, only giving up 59 points, I believe, for the whole season. So every yard's a tough yard.
Ball at the 45, less than a yard to go for a first down on 3rd down, and now every play becoming critical. Glassboro obviously wants a new set of downs here. They just need about a half yard to accomplish that. Straight ahead in first down yardage for Worley to the 49-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Bob, this becomes every offensive coach's dream. The dream in this situation is you can take the ball down the field, use up as much clock as you can, score, take a 2-touchdown lead, then give it back to the other team and say, now we'll try to win the game.
Paulsboro with 11 sectional titles. Looking for 7 in a row, but jeopardy of losing that record today. 1st and 10, ball at the 49-yard line. And boy, oh my, Holmes somehow avoids the tackle, but then takes a big pop from Bennett, and he did well just to hold on to the football.
That's true, Bob. I'll tell you, interesting call, a little razzle-dazzle there. We saw it at the first play of the game today, but well defensed by Paulsboro.
And a loss all the way back to the 40, loss of 7. It'll be 2nd and 17.
We're going to get a chance to see it again. Here you can see the handoff from Worley. There it goes. Great tackle, but no wrap. And then no place to go for Holmes, Terrence Holmes.
Worley trying unsuccessfully to get to the corner. Very little doing there. Good defensive series by the Red Raiders. It'll be 3rd down and long. .05 to play. One of these teams out of the playoffs after this one, and both of them playing superb defense today. 3rd and 16 for the Bulldogs. So a quick out to Holmes. Holmes goes deep. Intercepted. Intercepted by Sharper. Sharper cutting it back in, and Sharper with a good return to about the 46-yard line. And boy, Glassboro pulling out all stops on that razzle-dazzle play, but the interception of the Terrence Holmes pass gives Paulsboro great field position at the 47-yard line.
We're going to get a chance to see it again. It's the old double pass. You can see Satilli throwing it right out to Holmes. Holmes, a lefty, takes his time and throws it. And we watch down, you'll see that the receiver is triple covered. Sharper makes a great athletic play. Takes it from there.
Hamilton with a big run for Paulsboro, deep into Glassboro territory inside the 40. That might have been the charge that they needed. A first down carry by Hamilton to the 39-yard line.
You can almost feel the momentum change and the enthusiasm that Paulsboro has right now.
Might be the big break the Red Raiders need to get back in this football game. They have been dominated defensively by Glassboro. Hamilton again, picking his way, has some room to the outside, to the 20, and hauled out of bounds by Julian Worley, but back-to-back first down carries by Preston Hamilton, and for the first time today, the Red Raider offense showing some spark with 9 minutes to go, and they are at the 16-yard line. This is the deepest they've been all day, Fred.
And that's true, Bob, and I'll tell you, just again, we said finding a way to win is always in Paulsboro's vocabulary, and here I think is a great move. Glassboro's going to call timeout, give their defense a chance to gather themselves and stop that momentum.
So it's timeout for Glassboro with exactly 9 minutes to play. Glassboro leading 7-0, but Paulsboro, after the interception, in its deepest penetration of the football game. What did you think of the decision with the halfback pass?
I'll tell you, Bob, it's very, very interesting. At times you think that if you can make one big play, you can break the hump of the defense. It's a risky maneuver. When it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it can backfire on you.
Paulsboro taking advantage after the interception by Vernon Sharper. Back-to-back first down carries by Preston Hamilton. And the Red Raiders at the 16-yard line. That is the deepest they've been the entire game. So there's time. But I don't think Paulsboro can afford to pass up this opportunity.
And Bob, it sets up a lot of interesting dilemmas. There's still plenty of time left in the game. If Paulsboro goes in and scores, does it go for 1 or does it go for 2?
First and 10. Ball at the 16. Glassboro, a tremendous defensive job all day long. Sharper trying to get to the outside. He will be hauled down. Tremendous pursuit by the Bulldogs. Cleary there. Jerry Stranix there. John Davis in on the play. And a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11.
We said before the broadcast that this was just going to be an outstanding game. You could feel that just a tremendous pressure, but there's so much pride that's here. We're seeing it all on the line right now.
2nd and 11 for the Red Raiders. The pitch to Sharper. Sharper has some blocking, but he falls down. He tried to cut it back inside. Defending on the play were Terrence Patterson and Anthony Haggerty. Looked like a play that might gain more than that.
It sure did, Bob, because there were 2 lead back blockers out in front of Sharper. It looked like he lost his footing and fell down, so Glassboro can be very thankful for that.
Sharper did get 5. The ball at the 13-yard line. 3rd down and about 7 for the Red Raiders. 8 minutes to play. Straight ahead to Hamilton has some room, but he is popped, and I mean popped, by Anthony Haggerty after the advances to about the 10. And here comes the most important offensive call of the football game for the Red Raiders. They have a 4th down and about 3 at the 10-yard line.
Coaches will say year in and year out, this is what champions are made of right here.
Paulsboro using a timeout because Glenn Howard knows they can't afford to pass up this opportunity. Timeout. We'll be back. 7-0 Bulldogs. Most important play of the game for Paulsboro is so far right here. 4th down and 4. Ball at the 10-yard line. 7:36 to play. Sharper straight back. Looks in the corner of the end zone, and it is intercepted in the end zone. No, it's incompleted, but tremendous defensive work on the corner by a guy who's played a great football game for Glassboro High School. That is Chris Sheridan.
I'll tell you, once again, Paulsboro figured they could take a size advantage into the end zone on that fade pattern. Sharper will put it up. Now we'll watch it again. Sharper takes the 3-step drop, lays the ball up for the corner. Played extremely well by Sheridan. He makes the great leap and the great play.
Well, Glassboro dodges another bullet. And they take over at their own 10-yard line. Sheridan with the great play in the end zone. Now the Raider defense has to do the job again. And Worley is hit on an outstanding play by Deontay Ruffin. And a loss back to the 6-yard line. Dangerous territory here for Glassboro.
Dangerous all the way around, even for a punt situation. And you can't even take the option of running the ball out the end zone for a safety because that would enable just a single touchdown to take the lead.
Loss of 3, 2nd down and 13. Paulsboro would love to force Glassboro to punt from its own end zone. And the clock ticking away. 6:56, 6:55. What a great high school football game this has been. Worley looking to get to the outside. Cuts it back inside. Nice job by Worley. He'll be well short of the 1st down, but he makes a nice run. Meeting him at the end of the play, Vernon Sharper. 3rd down and Paulsboro in a must-stop situation here.
And Worley's almost like what we call a slashing kind of runner. He gets outside, he looks for the opening, and then just puts his head down and goes. 3rd and 5. crucial situation.
Paulsboro has to make the stop. The clock is moving. 6:17, 6:16. Paulsboro defense put to the test again. Straight ahead, and they will not get the first down. Williams with the carry, but Glassboro will have to punt. So the Raiders will get the football back.
Very conservative call by Coach Cleary, figuring that one thing we don't want to do in this situation is put the ball on the ground or throw an interception. Use up the clock time. That'll run 25 or 30 more seconds off. Hope we get a good punt and make Paulsboro earn it.
They're trying to let the Glassboro defense win the football game. Willis punting. Hamilton deep back about the Glassboro 42-yard line. Important snap from center here, and a good one to Willis. Willis gets it off. Pretty good punt by Willis. Very good punt. And they'll let it roll dead. Nice job by Richard Willis. Boy, has he played a role in this football game.
And I'll tell you what else, Bob. We got to start giving credit to the long snapper, because for everything that was on the ground the first half has been a true snap for the second half.
That is a 43-yard punt by Willis, and a good one under pressure under those circumstances. And now Glassboro has to start from its own 43-yard line, and they're running out of time, Fred. 5:12. They cannot give up the football.
I think there's a sense of urgency now. They know they're not going to get too many more opportunities.
Hamilton, and he will not elude the grasp of the number one tackler in the season for Glassboro High School, Sean Michael Cleary.
But again, I just keep reminding you that Paulsboro always finds ways to win. So you can never count Paulsboro out till that clock says 0-0-0.
Ball back at the 41, loss of 2, second down and 12, 4 minutes, 45 seconds to play. Sharper to throw. Sharper has good protection, and he'll run it out of there. And Sharper again. I tell you, we have seen a magnificent job of open field tackling today by Glassboro.
And that's true. Terrence Patterson made a great job on that, because if he doesn't make that tackle, Sharper's down the sidelines.
This could be a 4-down set here for Paulsboro. They cannot afford to give up the football. The advance to the 48-yard line, but it's third down and about 6.
You just have to look at the Glassboro sidelines. They're just jumping up and down. They can feel the emotion.
Getting a big rush on the backside, gets it off, and it's completed. Oh, wow. Sharper took a big hit from Richard Willis coming from the blind side, manages to get the pass off for the first down. What a huge play and a gutty pass by Vernon Sharper.
Paul Redcoles made that great catch down there, knew exactly what he needed to get the first down.
Ball at the 43-yard line, first down and 10. 3 minutes, 50 seconds, the clock running. Hamilton getting into the clear at the 30, at the 20, down the sideline, knocked out of bounds. Preston Hamilton gets Paulsboro deep into Glassboro territory again. At the 3:37 mark, the clock stopped as he is drilled out of bounds, but the advance inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Big-time players on big-time teams make big-time plays. Here is Hamilton. Watch the slashing cut, protecting the football, keeping his head up, keeping his eyes going, and racing to the sidelines.
Hamilton straight up the middle, only gets about a yard, if that. Cleary in the tackle along with Haggerty. Jerry Stranick's also there. Second down and goal. The playoff season comes down to this for both teams. The clock running 3:19, 3:18.
You always will know that Paulsboro will never give up easily. They'll go to their dying breath. They're down at the 7-yard line.
Second and goal. Sharper fires it over the middle. It's incompleted. Defending in the end zone was Terrence Holmes. The intended receiver was Scott Guerin. And now it's 2 downs for Paulsboro and perhaps the end of their playoff season.
Bobby asked me earlier in the broadcast about ticket prices. I don't think anybody matters what they paid to get in today. They've seen great football.
Yeah, this has been a This has been one for the memory books. 3rd down and goal. The clock stopped, but only 2:54 to go. Paulsboro almost certainly has to score on one of these next 2 downs. And a reverse to Holloway. Holloway, oh, what a tremendous play by Julian Worley from nowhere. What a play by Worley. It looked like Holloway had clear sailing into the end zone on a terrifically designed play. Where did Worley come from?
And I'll tell you, tremendous faking, because I think everybody in the ballpark thought it was going straight up the center, and then out goes Holloway to the outside. Worley, great play.
Now Paulsboro takes a timeout with 2:30 to go, and their playoff season may come down to this very play here on 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. I'm telling you, Worley's defensive play was remarkable. It looked to me like Holloway had clear sailing to the end zone with 1 block.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, the other factor now is this is the 2nd timeout that Paulsboro has called this half, meaning they have only 1 more. If Glassboro could stop Paulsboro, they can certainly use the clock to their advantage.
Well, we've had this has been one of the best series, of course, in the history of Gloucester County High School football. And they used to play on Thanksgiving Day. That series was discontinued. Of course, they've met each other often in the playoffs. Glassboro, during the 90s, frustrated often by the Red Raiders, but a magnificent opportunity for Glassboro to get some revenge today. But it comes down to this play. This has been one of the best high school football games, Fred, I think I've seen in a long time. And wouldn't it be ironic if the only score of the game was on a busted punt?
I don't think anyone would have ever believed you if you would have said that before the game.
It comes down to this 4th down and goal from the 5-yard line. Sharper rolling. Sharper back across the grain. He had a man open and he undershoots him. He had a man open. The play beautifully designed. Holloway was alone in the end zone, and the ball undershot, incompleted. Glassboro takes over at his own 5-yard line, and the frustration shows on Anthony Holloway, who was wide open, and Vernon Sharper just could not get the ball to him, Fred.
And well-designed play, well-orchestrated, wide-open receiver. But let's hold before we start saying anything yet. The ball's on the 5-yard line. Glassboro still has to move the football, still may have to punt. This game's far from over.
2:25 to go. Paulsboro with only 1 timeout to go. 1 first down for the Bulldogs could pretty much wrap it up. And great run by Worley. He is close to a first down. Julian Worley, a 1,000-yard rusher on the season. Looks like he has the first down up to the 15. That is a big run by Worley. They're going to stop the clock, bring the chains in, and measure this one.
And Bob, you said a very good point. I mean, that's tremendous emotional lift for Glassboro once they get out of the end zone area. But 2, now Paulsboro has to go to the situation where they don't get themselves down. The game is far from over. They still have a timeout. There's still over 2 minutes to play in the game. They can still do it.
2:10 to go. About a foot to go for a first down. And Walt Glassboro once here is about a foot and a half, and they'll get 4 more downs.
And all Bob Cleary wants right now is that clock to keep running.
Clock running. Now Glassboro will take as much time as they can here because they started the clock again.
But the danger.
Is frustrating for Paulsboro. 2 minutes now, under 2 minutes.
The danger is you don't want to use too much time. Instead of having 2nd down and a foot, to have 2nd down and 5.
So Kelly keeps it, and I don't know. I think so. I think he's got the first down.
And looks like where the spot is. It's past the 15-yard line, so it's a first down.
Fred, I think they can run out the clock. Paulsboro with only 1 first down to go.
I'll tell you, I'm starting to begin. If they can use time management, I'm sure Coach Howard's going to let them run a play and then take a timeout. But I think you're right, Bob.
This is going to be a shocker for a lot of people if this holds up 7-0, Fred. I don't think too many people, I don't think any of the prognosticators had Glassboro winning this football game.
And not only this, but how about going to the last time that Paulsboro was ever shut out? I can't ever remember. Maybe not in my lifetime.
like a delay of game call against Glassboro. The clock stopped at 1:17. Of course, they have the fresh set of downs for.
Now the danger though that happens on that is the clock will not start now until the snap. So Glassboro will not get advantage to run any more time. I'm sure Coach Howard will take a timeout after this play's done.
Paulsboro had first and goal at the 7-yard line. Couldn't push it in against this terrific Glassboro defense. Worley has some room. Worley into the clear. Being chased from behind. Worley still on his feet. He may go. Worley at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10. Worley with a touchdown run that is going to give Glassboro an unexpected victory as Glassboro now leads at 13-0, and that's going to do it. A touchdown run for Julian Worley. A tremendous effort on Worley's part. Who would have thought this, Fred Schwartz?
I'll tell you, the fans, everyone here is just shocked. First of all, you're looking at a chance for Paulsboro to tie or win the game. Now, all of a sudden, it's 13-0. I am just totally amazed.
85-yard touchdown run by Julian Worley. 2 huge plays. Paulsboro fans leaving. They can't believe what they've seen today here as Glassboro High School, the underdog, decidedly in some minds is going to win this football game. Wow. The #1 seed Paulsboro High School about to go down to defeat Terrence Holmes, the freshman, left-footed kicker. High snap. Holmes going to try to run it in. He will not break the tackle, however, of Sharper. And a stunned Paulsboro crowd, and we're stunned as well, and here it is.
Watch this effort by Worley. Great open field vision, tremendous cut right there. Protects the ball, and now look at the speed.
Another great cut. Look at that.
Back. He just took Hamilton right on the ground.
You are looking at a highlights film run by Julian Worley.
It's easy to see now while he gets 1,059 yards because he can make that run against the Paulsboro defense. He's an outstanding player.
13-0 Glassboro. 1 minute exactly to play. And the #1 seed Paulsboro High School, winner of 6 consecutive sectional championships, is going to be upset by Glassboro.
Now, a couple of things could still happen though. One could be Paulsboro could get the ball quickly, make a home run, score maybe on one play, do an onside kick, try to do another home run. Now, I wouldn't want to be a betting man for that, but there is that still opportunity. Glassboro can't celebrate till that clock says 0-0-0.
They hold up and win this, you are going to see a celebration like we have not seen often on Comcast, I'll tell you.
Again, we said before, Glenn Howard has never lost a playoff in the semifinal round as he's been coach of Paulsboro, and Paulsboro has not lost on this field since 1991 against Woodbury High School.
This will be one for the memory books at Glassboro High School, I'll tell you. They have played some kind of game. Terrence Holmes kicking off. Boy, what a foot he has. And that goes right through the end zone. There is a freshman that is going to be an impact player in this county for a long time. Terrence Holmes, he's had a great ball game. But they all have, we got to give some credit to not only the whole defense and the whole coaching staff at Glassboro, but how about that Herb Nealio, the defensive coordinator? We keep hearing about Herb being one of the best in South Jersey at what he does, and boy, does he prove it again today.
And that's true. He always comes prepared, and their package is very, very good. But, I think if you asked him, Bob, we asked him before the game or asked him last night, do you plan to shut out Paulsboro? I don't think in his wildest dreams he would have ever thought that would have taken place.
Oh, Bob Cleary just got a bucket of water on him, and he loves it. I guess he figures they've won it. A little dousing for Bob Cleary, the head coach of Glassboro High School, back to enjoy, I guess, probably his biggest victory. Sharper fires it incomplete, intended for Bennett. 54 seconds to go. I would have bet on this. Yeah, look at the Glassboro players on the sideline celebrating.
And that's high school football. And I tell you, it just brings a warmness to your heart. That's just the excitement. It's why you play the game.
This is one they're going to remember all their lives, Fred.
That's for sure.
Amazingly, Paulsboro will lose 2 football games in one season. Sharper to throw. Sharper going deep. Hamilton momentarily open, incompleted, third down.
Great job again. Glassboro's going back into a prevent defense. They'll give up any pass short. They just don't want to give up the home run.
Third down and 10 for the Red Raiders. This is a stunned Paulsboro cheering section. They're not used to this.
That's for sure. They've been in the state championship game or the South Jersey sectional champions, whatever you want to call it, the last 6 years. This will be an amazing feat.
Sharper. Scrambling. Nobody to throw to. He'll run it out of bounds. Chased out by Clary. It'll be fourth down. 39 seconds left. We're going to make every effort to talk to Bob Cleary, the Glassboro coach, after the game. I would love to get Herb Nealio on with us too, Fred. I really think we need to talk to him about how you do the job, how you shut out Paulsboro High School. That just doesn't happen.
It's just, and I think that the scheme is the one thing, but he got the kids motivated to play, and they just executed everything that he asked for and more.
Last hurrah, perhaps, in this play for Paulsboro. Fourth down and 10. Excuse me, fourth and 6. Sharper fires it, and it's completed nicely to Hamilton. Nice job by Preston Hamilton.
Let's go!
Penalty markers down. A completed pass to the 45-yard line. 30 seconds to go.
If you're Bob Clary, I hope that this might be a face mask. If it's a face mask, and it is, that's going to give 15 more to Paulsboro. You don't want to give any more advantage.
On the ball! On the ball!
So that'll advance it all the way to the 40-yard line. So the Raiders still with an opportunity. It's not quite over. They got to.
Let's go!
The clock is running. They got to get up to the line of scrimmage. They're losing valuable seconds. 24, 23, 22. Sharper to throw. Goes deep, fires it. It's intercepted by Worley. And Worley will just run it out of bounds. Smart play by Worley. He takes a pop as a result, but that was a smart play by Worley. He doesn't want to risk getting hit and fumble away the football. So that's going to clinch it absolutely for Glassboro with 9 seconds to go. And Glassboro has earned this victory, Fred.
Bob, you're right. That was really an intelligent play for a junior at this time. He realizes that fumbles could happen. He could get pushed out of bounds at any time. I'm impressed. Kneel down and it's over, Bob.
A shocker. I don't know if it's a monumental shocker, but it's a shocker. And that's going to do it. The clock ticking down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Glassboro High School upsets Paulsboro 13-0 and advances to the sectional Group 1 game against either Woodbury or Florence. And you can see the celebration. Julian Worley, who had the second touchdown run, the 85-yarder, being hoisted on the shoulders of his teammates. What a big day for Glassboro High School. Bob Cleary congratulating Paulsboro coaches, congratulating his players. Great sportsmanship shown by all the Paulsboro coaches over congratulating their Glassboro counterparts. That's what scholastic football is all about. And there's the center of attraction, Bob Cleary, talking to Glenn Howard. They're good friends, and I can tell you this is a big day for Bob Cleary. We're going to take time out from Paulsboro. Final score, Glassboro 13 and Paulsboro 0. We'll be back with some post-game interviews right after this. Final score, Glassboro 13, Paulsboro 0. Bob Cleary and Herb Nealio, a couple of happy but I guess exhausted coaches. Bob, congratulations, you finally got them.
Thank you. It's a long time coming over here, losing 2 great games. Finally, we were able to win a great game. It's I don't know what to say.
It's been kind of an up and down season. You won your first 2, then you won on that 3-game slide. You recouped, won last 4 in a row. What has turned the season around?
Well, the kids realized that we have a good team, but we lost to 3 pretty good teams. And we put in perspective how we lost, why we lost, and the kids understood and learned from that situation. They never gave up, they never quit, they kept working hard.
I know this guy next to you is uneasy with praise, but Herb Neilio's efforts for you guys is well documented in South Jersey as a defensive coordinator. He's done a magnificent job, probably none better than today.
Well, you can see what kind of defense we play, and Herb's been responsible for that defense for many years now, and he's doing an outstanding job. And when you shut out Paulsboro, you must do something right.
Herb, talk a little bit about the defensive scheme for today. What was your plan coming in?
Well, we basically just try to change it up. They're too strong and too big of a team and too quick to stay in the same defense. So we try to change it up, change the coverages, change the fronts. And they got their big plays, but then luckily when we did change things up, we had a couple big stops and they kept them out of the end zone.
You have some big play underclassmen on this team, Herb.
Yes, well, Julian Worley, the junior, played an excellent game. Terrence Holmes, who didn't even start in the beginning of the year, he's a freshman. He came up, made some big hits, and kind of came in his own today. He's only a freshman. And his son, Sean Michael.
Number 1 tackler on the team this season. We have to talk about the punt that got your, or the would-be punt that got your first touchdown. Wasn't a design play, was it, Bob?
No, I think our center designed it. They're sending 10 most of the time, and he knew he had to block somebody or at least put his helmet on somebody. So he's really concerned about that, so he's rolling them back. So once he rolled him back, the kid wasn't able to handle it, just picked it up and started running. Luckily, the Paulsboro kids turned their back and didn't see him until he's down the field. I'll take that kind of touchdown anytime.
I've been around a long time. I've never seen one of those. Have you ever seen one?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, on film against Haddon Heights.
Oh, okay.
Paulsboro.
Oh, you had one? Paulsboro had one.
Against Paulsboro.
Let's get Julian in here. Julian, congratulations. Julian Worley, he's only a junior, one of the many outstanding underclassmen on this team. A tough football game, 2 great defenses, but you guys make 2 big plays and that's it.
Oh, yeah. Paulsboro played great D. And we were struggling back and forth, and then we came up with a couple big plays, and I'm happy. I really don't have no words to say.
Glassboro's been frustrated in recent years against Paulsboro. They've come close. Did the team come into this game feeling we're going to win this football game?
Yes, sir. We practiced all week very hard because they're a great team, so coaches got us prepared to do our jobs, and we just did them. And
You got them down 7-0, but they're driving. It looks like they can score their first and goal at the 7. You put on a great defensive stop. Then you put the game away with that 85-yarder. Tell us about that run, because Fred and I were watching it on the replay. One of the greatest runs I've ever seen in terms of cuts.
Well, my guard, he picked up Troy Bennett. He a great linebacker, and I seen him fall. So then I was running, and Vernon Sharper came up, and I just made one cut, and then it was all to the races. I thought I was going to get caught. I was catching cramps in my calves, but I made it.
It's got to be one of the highlights of your career, with not only the day, but that run.
Yes, sir. It's a big game. I came through. I wanted this game bad because it hurt us last year when we lost, and the year before that, we lost both of them. It's tough ones.
Congratulations, Julian, on a great game. Okay. Robert, I feel good for you because I know you've had a lot of frustrations in these games with Paulsboro over the years. They have such a great tradition, but so does Glassboro High School.
Yeah, well, I really feel that we love to play Paulsboro every year. We used to play them on Thanksgiving. It was a heck of a game. 1971, my first year teaching, I came here and saw this factory. I said, what is this? Mm-hmm. And ever since then, I said, yeah, I experienced the game. It's a great game for both communities. It's a hell of a game. No matter win or lose, you know you played a great ball game against a great team. And it was a great rivalry until the Colonial Conference closed, and we lost the game. But in the playoffs, this is our 3rd year we met them in a row, so luckily we won one of them, this one.
Bob, congratulations on a great effort.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bob Cleary, the head football coach at Glassboro High School. Fred Schwartz, we didn't see history made today because the 63-game streak was ended, second game of the season, but I don't think too many people expected Glassboro to win. They deserve an awful lot of credit.
Now, we saw all that's good in high school football. We got to see Glassboro and Paulsboro, 2 class programs, play hard, play with tremendous passion and intensity. And maybe it's a poetic justice that Glassboro get a chance to win because they played so hard for the last 2 years and come up short. It was their time.
Wonderful defensive battle both ways. 2 enormous plays the difference.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you had Julian in there, I think one of his keys on that reverse that went to Holloway and on the tight end around at the goal line was a crushing play for Paulsboro. Yeah. But just tremendous effort, and that's all we can really ask for high school kids.
It's 7-0 Paulsboro. First and goal at the 7-yard line. That Glassboro defense digs in.
And I'm wondering, too, I'm sitting there saying, is Glenn Howard going to go for 2 or 1 when they score? Yeah. And Glassboro has the opportunity, and they just take charge.
Fred, good working with you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Bob.
Okay. Final score again, Glassboro 13, Paulsboro nothing. Glassboro advances to the finals in Group 1.